The Romance Playbook, written by Liwen Y. Ho, narrated by Skye Alley. Chapter 1. Dax. Rogers, your shirt's on backwards. I looked down, expecting to see a cartoon drawing of Herbie, the mascot for the Gilroy Garlic Festival. It's basically a guy with a garlic head, and yes, he's as creepy as you think. And what do you know? Coach Kessler is right. All I see is the blank backside of my green t-shirt. Thanks for pointing that out. I step inside his office and take a seat across from him. His cherrywood desk is covered with paperwork and a half-eaten bag of chips from his stash that he keeps hidden from the missus. It looks like a tornado blew through this room, but at least Coach has his shirt on the right way. I kind of had a late night. I heard. His bushy eyebrows wiggle up and down like two caterpillars. In fact, all of Briarwood has heard about your after-hours activities and who you've been doing them with. What's going on with you, Rogers? I'm not one to pry, but when your personal life's affecting your game, I'm not going to sit on the sidelines and watch you fall and take the team down with you. I sit up straighter in my chair. The 2 cups of coffee I downed this morning didn't do much for me, but Coach's message is like a shot of caffeine straight into my veins. I've been playing for the NHL for 6 years now, but being traded to the Bobcats has given me my first chance to be the starting goalie. The last thing I want is to disappoint Coach, my teammates, or the fans. I hear what you're saying. I won't let it affect my game. Leaning his forearms onto the desk, Coach Kessler narrows his eyes at me. Who is this it you're referring to? What's her name? Her name? I smirk. What happened to not prying, Coach? This is called information gathering. The wife always says I don't ask enough questions, so humor me a little. Which woman's not affecting your game? There's no woman involved. I'm not seeing anyone. That's because you're seeing a lot of someone's. He picks up his cell phone and swipes at the screen a few times before turning it to face me. Want to tell me about this? The bold uppercase print on BuzzBeat's website reads, Dax Rogers catches pucks all night long. Puck bunnies, that is. I can't help but chuckle. For a celebrity tabloid, they have a decent sense of humor, but their photography skills could use some work. That's not a good picture of me at all. The lighting is terrible. That's all you have to say? Coach tosses his phone onto a stack of papers. Come on, Rogers. You're better than this. My chest twinges. I've heard those 4 words so often in my 24 years of life, I should have developed a complex by now. Maybe I have. Even with a championship ring from my time with the Gilroy Gladiators and my face on a line of custom-scented candles, I still can't compete with my older brother. No matter how many units of Rogers in Red or Butterfly and Burn I've helped to sell, my job will never be as prestigious as a brain surgeon's. Sure, my brother's out here saving lives, but my candles have healing powers too. Men comment all the time on my social media posts about how much their wives appreciate that these scents cover up the smell of dirty socks. I've been saving olfactory systems and marriages, but do I get any credit for it? Apparently not. Anyhow, I do what I usually do when my father puts me in my place. I nod and say, I'll do better. I need you to mean that, Rogers. No more late nights, you hear? You are to stay out of the tabloids and focus all your efforts on hockey. We have a shot at the playoffs this year, but only if we keep on winning. We can't afford the misses you had last night. I hate to admit that he's right, but I hate losing even more. I agree with you. Good. I'm going to have Ace start tomorrow night. You take the time to rest and regroup. I clench my jaw at Coach's announcement. It's not unheard of for the second-string goalie to start in a game once in a while, but it still stings knowing that I messed up. Got it. I'll get my head on straight, Coach. No more partying and no more distractions. That includes women, too. Oh, yeah. The corners of his mouth twitch like he's holding back a grin. I'm not telling you to join a monastery. There's no need to be so extreme. It's all or nothing. I'm not letting anything get past me, on or off the ice. All right, I like the sound of that. How about until playoffs are over? I don't want to cramp your style indefinitely. Sure, that won't be a problem. He reaches out to shake my hand. I appreciate the effort, Rogers. You're a good kid. Now get out of here so I can finish my chips before my wife stops by. Yes, sir. I'm out the door and walking down the hallway with renewed determination. The pride I just heard in Coach's voice reassures me that I haven't screwed up too badly. I roll my head from side to side and shake out my arms and legs to get my blood pumping. A burst of energy courses through my body, making my shoulders feel lighter. Coach's pep talk is exactly what I needed to course correct. I'm a simple guy. Give me a few words of encouragement and I'm good to go. Even a smile can boost my ego, especially if it's from a pretty girl. I guess that's why I like hanging out with female fans so much. They know exactly what to say to make me feel good. Whether or not they really mean it is another story. "Cuz!" a woman's voice calls out. I backtrack to one of the offices on my left and poke my head in. Hey, sorry, I didn't see you. No kidding. I called you twice, but you were lost in your own world. Vivian, my cousin, who's a few years older than me, happens to work as the Bobcats' PR manager. Her piercing green eyes, the same color that all the cousins on our dad's side share, zero in on me. Are you okay? Your shirt's on backwards. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Stepping into the room, I pull the shirt off, then slip it back on the right way. By the time I look at Vivian again, she has a grimace on her face like she just saw a horror show. Seriously, Viv, there are people willing to pay big bucks to get a look at my abs. And I am not one of them. There's a reason why we have locker rooms, you know. I roll my eyes. As much as I love my cousin, she's like an overbearing older sister I never had. For a woman half my size, she has an attitude that's twice as fierce as any of the guys on the team. While she's a good person to have on your side, I pity the man who ends up with her. Anyway, she continues without skipping a beat, the reason I called you in here was to ask you a favor. Have a seat. I sit, but I don't get comfortable. There's nothing about this immaculately clean and organized office that makes you want to let your guard down. Is this for an event you're planning? No, it's not work-related. Really? When do you not think about work? When I think about my friends. I open my mouth to respond, but her raised eyebrow quickly shuts me up. Before you imply that I don't have any friends, I can assure you that I do. This one I'm thinking about is one of my good friends from college. I nod. Okay, so what do you want me to do? Autograph a photo of myself? Make a surprise birthday call? This is not at all about you, cuz. It's about hockey. Would you mind if my friend shadows you for research purposes? Research? For a book about hockey. Huh. That's different. I shrug, not really caring either way. Yeah, that's fine. It's not a book about me, is it? Because I'd have to get that cleared by my agent. How many times do I have to tell you it's not about you? It's about the sport. I wouldn't mind if it was a book about me. I'd be happy to include some photos of my abs, too. Now it's her turn for an eye roll. Promise me you will leave your shirt on? I would like to keep this friendship. Charlie's one of the good ones. My ears perk up at the name Charlie. All this time I'd assumed Vivi's friend was a woman, but it turns out it's a man, which works out all the better for me as far as my no distractions pledge is concerned. No worries, I'll be on my best behavior. Minutes later, I'm in my car when my phone buzzes with an incoming text from Vivi's friend. Charlie. Thank you so much for letting me shadow you. I really appreciate it. I reply, no problem. I'm free today if you want to meet. Charlie texts again. That would be great. Any time today works for me. I text back. How about sweet and smooth in an hour? Charlie replies, sure, I love their smoothies. See you then. After we end our text exchange, I find myself staring at my phone. I'm not one to judge, or maybe I am, but I've never seen a guy use so many emojis before. It'll be interesting to meet this Charlie in person. Chapter 2. Charlie. I am so ready to interview Dax Rogers. Never mind the fact that I know nothing about the guy or about hockey, but I'm certain that by the end of the week I'll be an expert on both. Or at least sound like one. I'm an author, so I'm used to making things up. It's basically in my job description. Except that this time, I may have gotten myself a little in over my head. I'm known to write stories featuring all kinds of heroes. CEOs, celebrities, first responders, even the guy next door. But I've never written about an athlete before. That's because I'm about as uncoordinated as a panda on ice skates. If I get within a foot of a ball, bat, or racket, you can be sure something will get broken or someone will get a black eye. My younger brothers were my first poor, unsuspecting victims. By the time I got to middle school, my PE teachers excused me from any activity that required sports equipment. The one thing I can do safely is walk, so long as there's a wide open space in front of me. That's why the idea of me writing a hockey romance makes as much sense as adding chocolate sauce to salad. But athletes are the latest craze in contemporary romance, and what the readers want, the readers get. I love my job and couldn't imagine doing anything else. Being able to create a fictional world with a pen, notebook, and my imagination is the best feeling in the world. I just need to figure out how to insert hockey into it. Hey, Charlie, do you want your usual? Nicole, the owner of Sweet and Smooth, calls out to me from behind the counter as I walk into the empty shop. She looks to be about my grandmother's age, but has the energy of a teenager. Her blue eyes sparkle as she says, "Or do you want to try the new flavor I came up with yesterday? Chocolate kale." I wince, imagining the taste of my most favorite and least favorite flavors combined. Oh, no thank you. The poor chocolate. I can almost hear it crying out in agony. Nicole throws her head of silver hair back and laughs. You're hilarious. This is why you're the romance author and I'm not. No chocolate kale for you. The usual then? I glance at my watch. I'm waiting for someone. He should be here any minute now. I'll order when he gets here. Did you say he? Yes. It's hard to miss the excitement in Nicole's voice. Ever since my ex-boyfriend ran off to join the circus, he's a mime, so at least his departure was a quiet one. So many folks around town have been trying to set me up. I appreciate their support, but I only have the heart for fictional relationships right now. Shaking my head, I pop Nicole's bubble. He's just an acquaintance, so don't go getting any ideas. That's how it usually starts, my dear. She gives me a wink before returning to her duties. Not this time, I mutter under my breath. Especially not with a sporty guy. I find a table to settle down at, a small round one by the window so I can spot Dax as soon as he walks in. Never mind the fact that I don't know what he looks like, but I figure he'll be athletic. Opening my canvas bag that says Booktrovert in block print across the front, I take out a stack of colored notebooks and a matching pencil pouch. I flip to a blank page and choose a blue pen. In cursive, I write out the words "leading man" across the top, then add some pink and purple hearts around it. With a black pen, I also draw a hockey stick, which ends up looking like an upside-down candy cane. I jot down a note in the margin to remind myself to ask Dax to show me one in person. I'm so grateful to my friend Vivi for this great opportunity. I hadn't even considered interviewing a real hockey player until she texted me saying her cousin could help me out. I'd originally planned on picking Vivi's brains since she's on staff with the Bobcats, but this works out even better. If I need to get inside the head of a hockey player, I can't do better than shadowing one. I'm ready to get up close and personal with... Ding! The bell on the door jingles, announcing the arrival of the next customer. Whoa. He's gotta be the most gorgeous man I've ever laid eyes on. Jet black hair, piercing green eyes, and the facial features of a Greek statue. Chiseled cheekbones, a square jawline, and the most kissable-looking lips enter my line of sight, making my stomach dip in a delicious way. He has all the makings of a leading character in the way he moves with the ease and confidence of a top dog. Or a bobcat? Gulp. This guy must be Dax. He has the same color eyes as Vivi, but that's the only thing they have in common. The rest of him is pure muscle, beautifully wrapped up in a t-shirt and jeans. One glance at his broad shoulders and muscular arms is proof that he does more than hold a pencil for work. And his smile, it's like a ray of sunshine on this cloudy day. I just want to bask in its warmth and let my insides turn into a puddle of goo. Bzzz. The sound of a blender cuts into my daydreaming and drags me back to reality. I kick and fight against the pull. In my head, of course, since flailing in public would be neither cute nor acceptable, but ultimately lose. It's better this way. This is really not the time to be drooling over my interview subject. Not when I have a book deal to save. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that my publisher has been on my case for months now. I have a bad case of writer's block and an upcoming deadline to meet, a combination no author wants any part of. So I rein in my emotions, wipe up my drool, and act like the professional I am. Or should be. Taking a deep breath, I get up and go over to the counter where Dax is looking at the menu. Since the blender is still roaring, I tap him on the shoulder and wait for him to turn around. When he does, the grin he shoots my way nearly knocks me off my feet. I grab a hold of his arm to steady myself, all the while smiling like a fool. "Sorry, I lost my balance," I say over the din in the shop. "Are you Dax?" The blender stops right before he replies. "The one and only. Let me guess, you're part of the Claw crew?" "Huh?" I don't understand what he's referring to, but then I see his gaze flick down to my hand that's still attached to his very developed bicep. I quickly let go. "My bad. I didn't mean to hold on to you for so long. Good thing I just trimmed my claws," I add as I show him my short, pink-painted nails. He chuckles, and the rich, deep sound soothes an itch I didn't know I had. "You seem like a fun person to hang out with." "Thanks." My cheeks warm at his compliment. "I've been known to be funnier in print than in person, so it's nice to hear you say that, since we're in person." He nods. "Did you want to take a selfie together, or is there something else I can do for you?" "I should be the one asking you that." I gesture to the menu overhead. "What smoothie would you like? It'll be my treat." "Thanks for the offer, but I'm good. I'm meeting someone." "I know." I offer him my hand. "Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Vivi's friend, Charlie." His jaw drops. "No, you're not." Yes, I am." "But how? How can you be Charlie?" "How?" My hand continues to go unnoticed, so I drop it to my side. I thought I'd be the one asking questions today, but apparently the tables have turned. It's a long story, but if you really want to know, my mom and dad have always loved Snoopy, but they obviously couldn't name their kids that. Can you imagine having to answer to Snoopy during roll call at school? They went with Charles instead, after Charles M. Schultz, the guy who created Snoopy. "Your name is Charles, then?" "No, silly. They named me Charlotte, and my two younger brothers are Charles and Chaz, but I'm the only one who goes by Charlie." "You really are Charlie." "I am." I hesitate, noticing the concern in his furrowed brows. "Is there a problem?" "Yes. No." He shoves his hands into his pockets, then gives me a tight-lipped smile. "Let's get started. The sooner we do, the sooner we can get this over with." He walks over to my table and plops down on a chair, leaving me standing in the middle of the shop wondering what exactly I did to offend the Bobcats' star goalie. Chapter 3. Dax. That explains the emojis. I should have known Charlie would be a woman. Not just any woman, but the most interesting woman I've ever met. There's something different about her that I can't quite put my finger on. She looks like someone who would order a berry happy smoothie, cute and sweet. Even her clothes match her drink. She stares at me from across the table, wearing a dark pink sweater, a purple skirt, and knee-high boots. Her outfit sure catches my attention, even though there's nothing revealing about it. Oh, I know what it is. Charlie's the kind of woman my mama always told me was worth chasing. She's got that wholesome, girl-next-door vibe going on, and so not the usual type that I go for. That's a relief. I can't afford to be distracted by anyone or anything right now. My focus is all on hockey, which works out well since that's exactly what Charlie wants to talk about. "Are you sure you don't want anything?" she asks. "I'm happy to treat you. It's the least I can do for taking up your time. I'm good, thanks. I lean back in my chair and turn a bit to the side so I don't have to look at her directly. It's not that I want to be rude, but there's something unsettling about her brown eyes. Like she has the ability to look past the party guy exterior I had my insecurities behind. Not to mention the fact that she has dimples. I'm a sucker for dimples. It doesn't help that they appear every time she takes a sip with her straw. I might as well be in the crease without my pads, chesty, and mask on because that's how vulnerable I feel in her presence. But I for sure am not going to let her know that. Charlie sets down her smoothie, then picks up a pen. All right, why don't we start then? Okay. I have some general questions about hockey to ask you, and also some personal ones, like how you got into the sport, things like that. If there's anything you don't feel comfortable answering, just let me know and we can move on. How's that sound to you? Fine. First of all, is hockey as dangerous as it looks? It seems like players get hurt all the time. I watched some clips online and there were too many ouchie moments to count. I glance over at her, completely thrown off guard. Did you say ouchie moments? Yes, I could only watch like this. Covering her face with her hand, she separates her fingers to create a V for one eye to peek out of. Once she's done demonstrating, she grimaces. I think it's the most dangerous sport I've ever seen. I don't know why anyone would want to crash into walls or collide with other players, or why people like to watch it happen. I scoff. You make hockey sound as bad as that new chocolate kale smoothie they added to the menu. Oh, man. Her nose wrinkles as she nods. It's a real toss-up between those two. At least it is for me. You must like hockey, though. Yeah, I do. I'd completely read Charlie wrong earlier. Not only is she not part of the Bobcats fan base, she's not into hockey at all. Can I ask you a question? Why are you writing a book about hockey if you don't like it? I don't hate it. There are those dimples again, making it hard to look away. But there's also something behind that cute, sheepish smile of hers that makes me want to know more. You can't even bring yourself to watch hockey, so why write about it? That is a good question. I guess you could say I'm partly giving in to peer pressure and partly giving myself a challenge. A lot of my author friends are writing about hockey and sports in general, so I thought I'd give it a try. It doesn't hurt to try, right? She cocks her head and thinks for a moment. Actually, I take that back. Trying to play hockey could definitely hurt. I can't even ice skate. Wow. She narrows her eyes at me. That is a pity wow if I've ever heard one. I do laugh now. You're right, there was some pity in that wow, but only because you're missing out. Being on the ice is the best feeling in the world. It's not for lack of trying, I'm just super uncoordinated. I took lessons for a couple of months when I was 10, and by the end of them, I still couldn't stand on the ice without falling. I'm not exaggerating either. Wow. I catch myself before I can stick my foot in my mouth again. Well, you must have had a bad teacher. They actually let me try out 5 of their teachers, and none of them could help me. So, I'm the problem. It's me. She proceeds to sing a line from a song with those same words that gets played a lot during games. Thanks, though, for trying to make me feel better. I shrug. Who cares if you can't skate? You've got a pretty voice, and I bet you're a good writer, too. You describe things in ways I've never thought of before. It's cool. That's really sweet of you to say. Thanks. I call it like I see it. We lock eyes for a few seconds longer than expected, and I can feel my guard coming down. Who am I kidding? It's been down since Charlie said, ouchie moment, but I had pretended not to notice. But it's getting harder now to deny the effect she has on me. She looks at me like she actually enjoys my company, and not because of what I do for a living. It's been a while since anyone's made me feel this way, if ever. The sound of the blender makes us both jump. We laugh at our reaction, and the moment we had fizzles out. It's better this way, I tell myself. Or maybe that's Coach's voice I hear in my head, reminding me to stay focused. Either way, it's not like Charlie and I would work out. I live and breathe hockey, and she can't stand the sport. The two of us together make as much sense as kale and chocolate. She speaks up as soon as the shop goes quiet. I have some more questions, if you don't mind. Shoot. Can you tell me when you started playing hockey, what got you interested, and how long you've been playing? I smile to myself, secretly happy that she knows so little about me. It's nice to meet someone different from my fans, women who claim to know every little detail about my life, but at the same time don't know me at all. I offer Charlie the tabloid-free version of my story. I started skating at 4. My mom got me into it. She was a figure skater before. She almost made the Olympic team, but she quit when she got injured. I got my love of the ice from her, but I didn't have the discipline to do jumps or spins. All I wanted was to go as fast as possible, so my mom put me in hockey when I was 5. I kept on playing and getting faster and managed to get drafted straight out of high school. That was 6 years ago. Charlie pauses her note writing and sets her pen down. I love how your mom saw what you were good at and let you pursue it. She must be so proud of you. She was. She passed just before I joined the Bobcats. 2 years ago this month, to be exact. I'm so sorry. That's a huge loss. My throat burns. I've never talked about losing my mama with anyone before. It's not exactly something you bring up on a date. Not that this is a date. It's all right. I mean, it's not, but I'm okay. You don't have to feel bad. Before I can finish my sentence, Charlie reaches across the table and puts her hand on mine. It's okay not to be okay, Dax, especially during the anniversary of her passing. If you want to tell me more about your mom, I'd love to listen. If not, I totally understand too. One look in her eyes, and I'm blown away by the kindness I see there. Thank you. I needed to hear that. Of course. I'm here for you, no matter what. The silence that follows is calm and not at all awkward, even though I just shared more with her than I have with anyone else. It's strange how I don't feel the need to prove myself to this woman. Everything about Charlie is comforting, especially the way she squeezes my hand to let me know she's got my back. I almost lose my cool, though, when her thumb starts rubbing circles along my skin. Or maybe I do, because the next words out of my mouth go against every logical brain cell in my head. Come on, I want to teach you how to skate. Chapter 4. Charlie. This is a bad idea. My body shivers as I watch my breath come out in a puff of vapor that quickly disappears. Whether my body's reacting to the cold air of the arena or the fear coursing through my veins, I don't know. At this point, I don't care. All I want is to come out of this experience, preferably in one piece, and it better not be in a full body cast. You have nothing to worry about, Dax says with all the confidence of someone who has no idea what I'm capable of. He just laced up my right skate and is working now on the left. I'll be right by your side the whole time, I promise. I glance down at him, feeling a bit like a character in a fairy tale, except that instead of a gown, I'm wearing a pair of Dax's compression pants under my skirt and a pair of his socks, both of which he assured me are clean. And the man helping me is not a prince. Dax, however, is a gentleman, and a lot nicer than I thought he'd be. Whatever hiccup we had when we first met seems to have resolved, and he went from being a grumbly beast to a sweet guy with the most touching backstory. For the first time in months, I'm feeling inspired to write. How could I not with such a hunky and handsome hockey player as my muse? The only problem with the scenario would be if something bad happened to said muse. I have to warn Dax before it's too late. You don't understand. I'm going to fall, and I'm going to take you down with me. This is not going to end well. I can see the tabloid headlines already. Star goalie Dax Rogers gets injured by klutzy author. Spoiler alert, there is no HEA. That actually sounds like a bestseller. He grins as he stands up, then gives me his hand. What's HEA mean? Happily ever after? I croak out, so very unhappily. Slowly and carefully, like I'm walking on stilts, I follow Dax to the ice rink's door. An HEA is what every reader expects at the end of a romance book. He turns to meet my gaze. Romance? You're a romance author? Yeah, didn't Vivi tell you? I'm writing a hockey romance. Or trying to. I should have been done with it months ago, but I've had horrible writer's block since my ex dumped me. I release a shaky breath, suddenly feeling shy. But the fact that Dax is still holding my hand, even though my palm is sweaty, gives me courage to say more. I don't know why I'm telling you so much. Well, maybe I do. I'm grateful for your help. Not only with teaching me about hockey, but more so for being a gentleman. I kind of forgot they existed. That explains why I lost my motivation to write about them. But I found it now. Disdain flashes in his green eyes as he practically growls. This isn't something a gentleman would say, but that ex of yours deserves some time on the ice without a cup to protect him. I can't help but laugh. You're right, that's not gentlemanly, but it might be the sweetest thing anyone said to me in a very long time. Thank you, Dax. He returns my smile. Come on, princess. Let's give you something more to write about. Before I can say no, he pulls me onto the ice. I immediately lose my balance and start flailing my arms and tipping backwards. I'm about to fall flat on my behind, but the second before both my feet slide out from under me, a pair of muscular arms scoops me up. I gasp as Dax holds me close. My heart is pounding so fast and strong, I'm sure he can sense it against his chest. I wrap my arms around his neck and hold on tight as we take off across the ice. The air that passes over my skin should feel icy cold, but my cheeks are so hot I hardly notice its sting. All I'm aware of is the tender look in his eyes as he carries me. We skate along the outer wall for a good stretch of the rink, then do figure eights in the middle of the ice. My body starts to relax, and it's not long before I feel comfortable enough to smile. Dax quirks a brow, looking amused. It's not so bad, is it? Not bad at all. You were right. This is the best feeling in the world. I get why you love it so much. It feels like we're flying. Yeah, that feeling of flying. It never gets old. Sometimes when I feel stuck, I put on my skates and take a few laps around the ice, and things just start to make sense. I don't know how to explain it. I think I know what you mean. It's the joy and freedom you feel from doing something you love. That's how it is with me in writing. When I'm in the zone and I find the perfect words to use to put a scene together, it's so satisfying. I feel like I could go on and on forever. Dax nods. Exactly. I love closing my eyes and going round and round the rink. Close your eyes? I tighten my hold on him. You're not going to do that now, are you? Is that a dare? No. No thank you. I'm not daring you, at least not while you're carrying me. If you want to skate with your eyes shut, I can watch you from the stands. Mischief lights up his green eyes. What fun would that be? Dax, I shake my head adamantly. I'm finally getting over my writer's block. I'd really prefer not to break an arm before I can start this book. He winks at me. How about if I close one eye? I can tell he's enjoying himself a little too much, but two can play at this game. How about if I let Vivi know how much fun you're having messing with me? Okay. He cuts in with a chuckle. I'll stop teasing, but only because I like you, not because I'm afraid of my cousin. Right. I laugh along with him because we both know he's lying, but soon his words come back to me like a flashing neon sign in my mind. But only because I like you. What does Dax mean by that? You like me? You're not like any woman I've ever met before. You're special, Charlie. I mean it. I swallow hard when I notice his gaze flick down to my lips. We both grow quiet as we engage in a tug-of-war with our emotions. I can see it in his eyes, the hint of desire mixed with uncertainty. It's the same swirl of emotions that I have. We literally just met each other today. How can I be feeling such a strong pull toward Dax, and he to me? But it's like he said, we're here on the ice together and things just make sense. And what makes the most sense right now is the growing need in my core to be closer to him. I press my mouth to his and let the need take over. Tangling my fingers in his soft hair, I kiss him with full abandon. Not from a place of recklessness, but one of confidence and security, the very things I feel when I'm in Dax's arms. So much so that I don't even think about the fact that my eyes are closed, but then I do because that means his eyes are probably closed too. Oh, never mind. I was about to worry, but then Dax distracts me by deepening the kiss. Wowzers. He's so gentle and the exact opposite of what you imagine is hiding under his brawn. My stomach dips as I receive all his tenderness and care. This is the sweetest kiss I've ever had. Part of me wants to take notes to use for the next kissing scene I write, but the other part wants to savor the moment. I go with the latter and let myself get lost in his touch and taste and honk, honk, honk. Dax and I stop kissing at the oh-so-untimely disturbance to find that we're no longer alone. One of those large ice paving machines, with a name I can't remember, but it sounds like a type of pasta, is at the far end of the rink. The driver waves at us to get off. Dax makes a slight turn and takes us toward the exit. I hold on to him and hide my red cheeks in the crook of his neck until we come to a stop. He then lowers me onto the ground and helps me sit down on a bench. I'm still catching my breath, but I'm all smiles. That was amazing! He stuffs his hands into his pockets and nods. I hope you got enough inspiration for your book. Oh, I definitely did. I can't wait to go home and start writing. Thank you, Dax. No big deal. I'm glad I could help. He gestures over his shoulder, then says, Hey, sorry to run, but I just remembered I need to do something. Do you think you can find your way out? Sure. Do I just leave the skates here? Yeah, I'll get them later. You can return my clothes to Vivi. Okay. I don't even get a chance to say goodbye before I'm staring at Dax's back as he rushes out of the arena. What just happened? Was our kiss so bad that he can't even look me in the eyes? I hate that I was right. Even if I didn't crash on the ice, I was foolish to ever think there could be an HEA for us. Chapter 5. Dax. I'm in trouble now. My cousin's attitude practically comes charging in through my front door before she does. Vivi takes off her shades and gives me an icy glare. What do you have to say for yourself, Dax and Rogers? Good morning to you too, cuz. I run a hand through my bedhead and walk backwards through the foyer. The sound of her high heels clicking against the tile floor fills the air as she follows me. Great timing. I just made coffee. Want some? I've had 2 cups already, and we both know that's not why I'm here. When we arrive in the kitchen, I pour myself a cup, then grab a seat on one of the stools at the center island. Vivi stays standing, so we're almost eye to eye. There's no escaping now, so I don't bother avoiding the topic any longer. I know I messed up. I shouldn't have kissed Charlie. Kissing her wasn't the bad part, Dax. Ghosting her was. It's been almost a week and you still haven't called or even texted her. What gives? Were you just stringing her along? Of course not. I set my mug down with such force some of the liquid splashes out. It never bothered me before to get close to a woman, but ever since Charlie and I kissed, I've been torn up with guilt. I promised Coach I'd get my act together. I'm supposed to focus on the game and not get involved with a woman until playoffs are over. But I couldn't even last a day. The instant I met Charlie, I was hooked. I like her a lot, in a way I've never felt about anyone before. Why didn't you tell her any of this? She thinks she misread your cues and crossed the line by kissing you. My stomach sinks. Why would she think that? Maybe because you left her right afterwards and haven't tried to contact her since? That was a rhetorical question, if you couldn't tell, she adds with a raised eyebrow. My hand balls up into a tight fist. I hate that I made Charlie question how I feel about her, but who could blame her for thinking the worst about our kiss? That was a jerk move that I made, and one I've regretted every single second since it happened. Even if I could date Charlie right now, I don't deserve her. She's too good for me. She deserves better. So much better. Vivi stares at me for a good 5 seconds before she shakes her head. She presses her lips together like she's holding back a smile. I should be mad at you, but all I feel is pride. I'm proud of you, cuz. Her words don't make any sense. I eye her suspiciously. Are you sure you only had coffee this morning? Who are you, and what have you done with Vivi? Yes, I'm sure. She rolls her eyes, looking more like the cousin I know. You're finally growing up. That's why I'm proud of you. I've never heard you talk about a woman like this before. Like you're considering her needs above your own. You actually sound thoughtful and responsible and, dare I say, a little mature. That's probably the nicest thing you've ever said to me, but the delivery could use a little work. I add with a smirk. I don't know much about being mature, but I do know that Charlie is not a woman I want to play around with. I want something with her, something that will last. Do you hear yourself? You are the kind of man Charlie should be with. So be that man and go see her. My shoulders loosen a bit, but I'm still not feeling 100% confident. And what do I say? I like you, but we can't be in a relationship for 6 months. I can't expect her to wait for me. How do you know she won't unless you ask? Honestly, Dax, for someone who thinks fast on the ice, you're really falling behind here on your logic. She places a hand on her hip. It's simple, really. Do you, or do you not, like Charlie? Of course I do. Do you want to tell her it wasn't her fault you left her high and dry after you guys kissed? Holding up a finger, she warns me. The answer to that question better be yes. I nod eagerly. Without a doubt, yes. Thank goodness. My job here is done. I'll show myself out. You should go change and do something about your hair. I know Charlie likes you, but you don't want to give her any reason to change her mind. She adds with a grin. Later, cuz. No longer needing caffeine since I have a burst of adrenaline in my veins after this chat, I set down my coffee and start forming a plan. Vivi's right. It's time to be like one of the leading men that Charlie writes about. One who does and says exactly what she needs me to do to prove to her how much I care. I told her how special I think she is. Now it's time to show her. In the romance world, it's called a grand gesture. That's one of the many terms I learned about this past week when I read everything I could find about Charlie online. Interviews, blog posts, reader reviews. I devoured them all. If she was willing to dive into the world of hockey, I'm down to learn all I can about romance. I even listened to 4 of her audiobooks while I worked out, because there's no better person to learn about romance from than a romance author. It's like Charlie gave me a romance playbook to go by to win her back. And that's exactly what I plan to do. But first, I need to give Coach a call. He's not only my boss on the ice, he's also the father figure I never had. It's important that I have his backing on this decision, especially since it goes against our agreement. He picks up on the 3rd ring. Rogers, I thought you'd be taking it easy on our day off. I am, but I wanted to talk to you about something, if you have a minute. Sure thing. Don't tell me you're already itching to go over strategy for tomorrow's game. You just need to keep on doing what you've been doing. You've been standing on your head the past 3 games. I couldn't ask for anything more. It looks like this commitment to stay focused and not be distracted by ladies is working. That's actually what I wanted to talk about, the not being distracted part. I take a deep breath before announcing, I met someone, Coach. And? You meet girls all the time. What are you saying? It's different this time. Charlie's different. Charlie? Why does that name sound familiar? Wait a sec. Are you talking about Vivi's friend? Yes, that's her. I met her the other day when she came to interview me. Bright girl, and pretty too. She's the one who caught your eye? She's done more than that. Charlie's amazing. She helped me realize why I'd been off my game recently, and she motivated me to get back on track. She's the reason why I've been playing better. You're saying the recent climb in your save percentage is because of a woman? Yes, sir. Well, I'll be. Coach's laughter comes over the line. You need to bring her around again so I can thank her. I will, Coach, assuming I haven't messed things up too badly between us. I owe her an apology. He scoffs. If you play this well when the two of you are on the outs, I can't wait to see how well you do when you're back in her good graces. Go get her back, Rogers. I will. Thank you, Coach. With that conversation in the bag, I'm more than ready to see Charlie now. The real question, though, is if she'll want to see me. Chapter 6. Charlie. I'm back at Sweet and Smooth, feeling absolutely the opposite of the shop's name. Even though I had enough inspiration to start this hockey romance a week ago, I've hit a roadblock again. I've been staring at an empty notebook page for the past half an hour. The only words I have managed to get down are Chapter 7, jotted across the top in depressing black ink. This is one time I can't even bring myself to use a fun-colored pen. It could be because I cringe every time I think about brainstorming the first kissing scene, or the chocolate kale smoothie I ordered is as unpalatable as I thought it'd be. Yes, heartbreak leads me to make some questionable decisions that leave a bad taste in my mouth. Literally. Not that what Dax and I shared was serious enough to shatter my heart into a million pieces, but I'm still sad. Sad over what could have been, because for once in my life, I thought I'd met a good guy. Someone with the perfect balance of kindness, humor, and strength. A man I could be myself with and trust enough to let him carry me around an ice rink with his eyes closed. The memory of the warm and firm pressure of his lips on mine comes to mind, making me sigh. Every time I picture my main characters getting close, Dax's face clouds my thoughts. It's like a never-ending cycle. Whenever I think about kissing, I think about Dax. And whenever I think about Dax, I think about kissing. Maybe it's time I switch genres to something less sweet, like zombie apocalypses. Zombies don't have beating hearts or emotions or the concept of love. They just go about their days and live, or not live if you want to be accurate, with one goal, to infect others. That's pretty safe and boring, right? I shake my head, not believing how ridiculous I sound. If my readers heard me, they would never trust me to write another romance ever again. I feel like such a fraud. On the verge of giving up hope of getting any work done, I shut my notebook and pack up my belongings. That's when I hear the bell on the door jingle. I glance up, wondering if it's Vivi coming to check up on me like she said she would. A pair of familiar green eyes comes into view, but the face that accompanies it is a lot more angular and handsome than my friend's. It belongs to the last person I expect to see, a certain star goalie who has been on my mind far too often this past week. What is Dax doing here? I duck my head and try to look as preoccupied but nonchalant as can be. It's not like he came here to see me. He's obviously waiting in line to order a smoothie. With the way things fizzled out between us, I'm 1,000,000,000% sure he doesn't want to talk to me. We live in the same town, though, so it's not improbable that we'd run into each other sooner or later. I was just hoping for much, much later. Like, possibly the next millennium. Maybe I can blend in with the other customers if I don't make eye contact. Pulling out my notebook again, I start scribbling random notes. It might as well be a grocery list because the only words that come to mind are what I had for dinner last night. Pasta, bacon, chicken, broccoli, pepper, salt, garlic, Charlie? A deep, rich voice asks. Mind if I join you? Looking up, I force out a smile. Hey, Dax, fancy meeting you here. I clamp my mouth shut and cringe inwardly. Why did my reply have to come out sounding so breathy? Since it's too late to pretend I didn't see him, I gesture to the empty chair across from me. You can have the table. I was about to leave. Stay, Charlie, please. He sets a pink-colored smoothie down in front of me and takes a seat. I noticed you didn't have a drink, so I got this for you. Oh, thank you. You really didn't have to. It's the berry-happy smoothie I had the last time we were here. I'm surprised Dax remembers the flavor I like. I did have a smoothie earlier, but I couldn't finish it. He raises an eyebrow. Don't tell me you tried the hidden greens one. I wrinkle my nose in chagrin. They're not as hidden as the name implies. Dax chuckles, but his smile doesn't quite reach his eyes. He gives me a regretful look. I've missed the funny things you say, and being able to tease you, and the way your dimples show up when you try not to smile. I miss spending time with you, Charlie. And I am so sorry I left you hanging this past week and making you think that we're... I can see his mouth moving, but the noise of the blender drowns out the rest of his words. Oh, why can't I read lips? This moment is huge, and I need to know what Dax is saying. Sorry, what did you say? I can't hear you. Instead of speaking up like I expect him to, he scoots his chair over to my side of the table. He is suddenly invading my personal bubble with his fresh, soapy scent and contagious grin. Leaning in close, he parks himself right beside my ear and proceeds to murmur something unintelligible. Oh, I can hear Dax perfectly well, but my brain can't process his words and keep my lungs working at the same time, which I'm okay with, since the latter is kind of an important function. The shop grows quiet as the blender takes a break. Dax leans back a little, but he's still so close to me that if I turn to my right, we'll be nose to nose. My heart thunders in my chest as his words replay in my mind. I'm so sorry I left you hanging this past week and made you think that I didn't enjoy our kiss, because I totally did. I suck in a breath and turn to him. You enjoyed our kiss? Are you sure? 1,000%. The only other thing I'm more sure of is that I like you, and I want more with you. But I know I messed up, so if you don't want to give me another chance, I'll understand. But I'll do anything, including drink a dozen hidden green smoothies, if you'll let me prove to you how much I want to be a part of your life. My jaw drops. You don't have to go that far. I'd love another chance with you, Dax. But can you tell me why you left the rink so suddenly that day? Was it something I said? I know you shared some really personal stuff with me. I hope I didn't say the wrong thing and make you uncomfortable. He shakes his head adamantly. No, what you told me was exactly what I needed to hear. You helped me figure out why I've been having such a hard time focusing on the game. But the thing is, I had made an agreement with Coach that I wouldn't date until playoffs, so I wouldn't be distracted. Oh! I exclaimed. But I talked to him again, and he agrees that you're a good influence on me, and whatever helps me helps the team. I've been playing better than I've ever played, and it's all because of you. You're like a secret strategy in the playbook. He cups my cheek, his tender gaze locked on mine. I know the reason we met was so you could learn about hockey, but I ended up learning from you too. You're amazing, Charlie. And I'd like nothing more than to be the leading man in your real-life romance. He reaches behind him and pulls out a jersey in the colors of royal blue, black, and gold. Holding it up so I can see his number and name on the back, he asks me, "Will you be my leading woman and wear my jersey?" Tears spring to my eyes to hear Dax speaking my language. Who knew this tough goalie could be such a softie? I'm so overwhelmed with emotion, I don't have the words to answer him, so I show him instead. Leaning forward, I nudge the tip of his nose with mine, then find my way home to his sweet mouth. He immediately responds and takes the lead, pressing his lips to mine. His arm wraps around my waist and pulls me closer until I'm surrounded by the heat from his body. I get lost in the moment, wondering how it's possible to feel like a shooting star and melted chocolate at the same time. And how is it that each kiss with Dax keeps getting better? We jump in surprise as the blender strikes again. Both of us laugh and shake our heads. That blender needs to get lost, Dax jokes. Preferably in a dumpster where we'll never hear it again. I grin, loving the way his eyes light up when he looks at me. Or we could take our kissing somewhere quieter. I like the sound of that. Got a place in mind? Well, we didn't get to finish my skating lesson the other day. The rink, of course. His brows wiggle in a knowing look as he hands me the jersey. You'll fit right in with this on. Come on, let's get out of here. As soon as I put on Dax's jersey, I can't stop smiling. It's official. Somehow I, the most uncoordinated girl in the world, am now dating a sporty guy. This story wasn't what I'd expected for myself, but what romance ever follows the rules? All I know is that I'm ready to make a new playbook for us, one that includes hockey and romance and plenty more sweet kisses. Epilogue. Dax. I love seeing my girl in my jersey. That's right, I finally met the woman of my dreams, and we've had the best time together the past 6 months. Who knew my cousin would be our unintentional matchmaker and be the one to bring Charlie and me together? I owe Vivi a debt of gratitude that I'll probably never pay off, according to her standards, but it's all worth it. Especially if Vivi gets Charlie down onto the ice tonight like I'd asked her to. The Bobcats just made the winning goal to go to the playoffs, and the crowd in the arena is going wild. I've never heard this place so loud before, or seen the fans so excited. The air feels electric, like someone shook a huge bottle of soda, then uncapped it, and all this adrenaline shot out. My own heart is pounding as I weave around my teammates and skate to the edge of the ice. Normally, I'd be celebrating right beside them, but there's something more important that I need to do, and someone more important I need to see. There she is. The only woman I care about runs along the dasher boards toward me, looking gorgeous as always. She wears our team colors with pride and even has matching ribbons tied around her ponytail. Her dimples flash as she smiles and waves. I barely have time to drop my stick and remove my gloves and helmet before she's standing at the open door. You guys did it! I'm so proud of you, Dax. Thank you, Char. I couldn't have done this without you. That's not true, and you know it, she says with a giggle. But thanks for making me feel special. It is true. I offer her my hand so she can join me on the ice. Come on, I've got you. Are you sure? I don't have skates on. Not that it'd be much safer if I did, she adds with the cutest wrinkled nose expression. Charlie was right. Even after all the hours of practice she put in on the ice to learn how to skate, she is still not that steady on her feet. But I love that she tries. I motion for her to come closer. You'll be safe with me, I promise. Okay, here goes nothing. She grabs onto my hand, then throws herself into my arms. With all her strength, she holds on to me, squeezing me the hardest she can with all the padding I've got on. After a moment, she pulls back just far enough so she can look into my eyes. See? I can hardly stand on my own. I definitely didn't do anything to help you win. You do, on and off the ice, in more ways than you know. You're my secret weapon. I swallow hard as I speak from my heart. I hope you always will be. Of course I will. Blushing, she looks around us at all the cameras pointed our way. Although, I don't know how much longer I can stay a secret. Per Coach Kessler's request, we'd kept our relationship on the down low before tonight to not distract from the game. So it's no surprise that both the fans and news crews have their eyes on us. It's just as well, because I want everything that happens next to be caught on camera for the world to see. Keeping my gaze locked on hers, I say, "That's not a problem. Because I don't plan on keeping us a secret any longer. I want to tell everyone how much you mean to me." Her brows shoot straight up as she watches me drop to one knee, but her surprise grows when she realizes I'm no longer holding on to her. Dax, what are you doing down there? It'd be nice if you could stand back up. Oh, for goodness sake, Charlie! Vivi appears about 10 feet behind Charlie with one hand on her hip. Just hang on a minute. Don't you want Dax to propose to you on one knee? That's what your leading men always do. Propose? She covers her mouth with her hands and gasps. Oh, by all means, please continue. The crowd gathered around us laughs. I'm pretty sure this will be the top news story on the morning skate tomorrow, mainly for how adorable Charlie's reaction is. I can tell the fans love her already. I'm also relieved to know that she wants me to pop the question. I've stopped 1,000 pucks before, but this time I'm the one taking the shot, and I know without a doubt that I'll score. But first, the ring. "Cuz," I call out to Vivi. "Do you have it?" "Have what?" "Oh, yeah." She digs in one of her jacket pockets and produces a small black box. "Catch!" All eyes, including mine, are on the ring box as it travels through the air like a baby bird taking its first flight. We're collectively holding our breaths, just praying and hoping for it to catch air and fly gracefully like it's supposed to. But if there's anything I know about my cousin, it's that her will is more powerful than her arm. The box goes up, soars for a split second past Charlie's head, then promptly takes a nosedive. Time seems to slow down as she and I watch it lose its battle with gravity. I lean over to the right to catch it, but before I can, a hand reaches out and swipes it from my grasp. My eyes blink in shock as the crowd cheers. "I got it!" Charlie shouts. Her face lights up with awe. "I actually got it!" "I think you missed your calling to play softball," I joke. "That was some catch." "Maybe I'm more athletic under pressure. I mean, it's not every day that your boyfriend's about to propose to you in the middle of a packed stadium with dozens, maybe hundreds of people watching." "Make that thousands of people," Vivi chimes in. "Way to go, guys! This is great publicity for the team." Charlie gulps. "Thousands of people?" "Eyes on me, babe," I direct her. "Just keep your eyes on me." She nods and chews her lower lip, looking more adorable than ever. "Eyes on you. Right." "May I?" "Huh?" I hold out my hand. "The ring, Char." "Oh, yeah." Smiling sheepishly, she hands me the box. "This is my first proposal, if you can't tell." "Mine too. My one and only, because you're it for me." I open the ring box and take out the diamond solitaire. Holding it up to Charlie, I start my speech. What I have to say isn't as good as what that Romeo and Juliet guy could write, but every word is true. You've changed my life, Charlie. I used to think hockey was all I had, but that's not the case anymore. I have the love of the most wonderful woman in the world. You make me want to be better in so many ways. A better goalie, a better teammate, and a better man. I want to be the best for you. I hope you'll agree to be on the same team with me from now on." Charlie narrows her eyes and asks, "When you say the same team, do you mean the Bobcats?" I laugh. "No, babe. I'm talking about our own team." "Oh, you mean you and me?" "Yes," I answer with a firm nod. "Charlotte Porter, will you marry me?" I will." As soon as I slip the ring onto her finger, she tries to pull me up. Her sneakers have a mind of their own, though, because the next thing I know, Charlie's slipping and falling backwards. I lunge forward and catch her right before she lands on the ice. She wraps her arms around my neck, and we share a smile of relief. A wild cheer erupts again around us, and I feel like I just made a last-second save. The adrenaline rush comes on fast and strong, but it's nothing close to the feeling of Charlie's mouth on mine. She kisses me with all the passion you'd expect from someone who writes kissing scenes for a living. I get lost in her scent and taste as the kiss deepens. For a moment, it's just the two of us in our own world, until I hear Charlie's sweet voice say, "Nice catch. That's the second time you've stopped me from falling. I hope you're not tired of it yet." "Of course not." "Good." She gives me a smile that lights up her whole face. "Because I plan on falling every single day, Dax. Falling more and more in love with you. My heart swells with joy and pride to have this amazing woman in my arms and by my side for the rest of my life." I look her in the eyes and make a promise that I can't wait to keep. "I'll always catch you, Charlie. You can count on that."
The end. Thank you so much for listening to this audiobook. To find out more about Liwen Ho's other books, please visit her website at liwenho.com. And be sure to subscribe to this channel so you'll be notified when a new audiobook releases.